Hey everyone, this is Chris Keys for PremierGuitar.com. We were hanging out backstage in the Mahler's Volta Soundgarden show in Chicago. We're gonna go check out Juan, the bass player's rig. Let's go check it out.
I've had this compressor, this Boss CS2 compressor. I've been using that since Racer X. That was 1986. I started using it because I started going to passive pickups, but like back then everybody was doing harmonics.
What do you like about that one compared to
It's just the most musical one. I've tried so many of them and I still use it. I just got an MXR one that Scott Chiraki developed, and I loved it, but I just was too scared to use it because I didn't have enough time with it. He got me it right before I left, so I was just like, But when I get home, it may end up being the thing that I started using, But until then, it's been this compressor because it really does add high end. I mean, if you listen to the difference, like. When I kick it on, I mean, obviously it's going to kick up in gain, but it's going to kick up in high end. And then I always have it on. I mean, I almost never turn it off, and it just gives me that, a lot of. See how the harmonics are just. It's like Jocko. Jocko's folded cabinet probably gave him a lot of that compression, just because it was. I just think those heads were just naturally being compressed. So.
Before we go any further, I gotta ask you, your guitar looks very familiar in shape and color and size, but it looks like the neck's got something funky going on.
Yes.
And why you use it.
Right. Okay. So this is a 1970, I think, or 71 Fender fretless, stock fretless, and it's. I had the lines painted on it because I don't play jazz, so I'm not at the comforts of a nice controlled room. I play rock, so it's like shitting like this big arena that we're about to play is noisy. It's hard to hear. So like I needed that for guidance, just to give me that extra edge and tuning, like fretless. And so I had the lines painted on. So usually this neck is just rosewood and it has these black dots on top.
All right.
I have Eric at Eric's Guitar paint the fret lines on it and the dots on it. And I have 3 basses like this, but it's a stock fretless, so it's not wood grain.
Oh yeah.
It's not the frets pulled out with wood notches put in it.
And does Fender do that, or is that you have someone?
It's my sound, or maybe I don't know. It's my Eric at Eric's Guitar doesn't believe it does anything, but to me, if it's psychologically, it does something. So yeah, and it's stock pickup, P pickup, volume, tone. This is a Stars guitar bridge, which I don't know if you guys know what that is. Okay, so there's a company in the late 70s, Stars Guitars, San Francisco. They became Leo Kwan Badass.
Oh, okay.
But you might be able to see a hint of a star on there, but it's brass, and it's been on this bass since I've owned it, and it's probably been on the bass since the 70s. This is a 70s Bartolini pickup, J pickup. I don't know. It's definitely single coil because you guys can hear it. Watch when I kick this off. Hear that? That's single coil.
Nice,
But it has to be single coil for effects.
Yeah,
for me, it's again, like I said, it'll activate all this so much more if you have the single coil. So everything about like just clarity and harmonics, But and then detuner. I've been doing detuners since they were invented, I think. The guy David just been really nice to me, and he gives me them. And other than that, I think that's it for this one.
What else do we have down on the board that you're kind of tap dancing on from night to night?
Let's see. So the vibrato I was showing you. Compressor. You can hear it bass on harmonics. That slide. All those envelopes are this because of fretless with that pedal. It's awesome. So they don't make that anymore. But Behringer makes a really great copy, and it's like $30. But go on eBay, that pedal's about $400, I think.
Wow.
And then the next pedal was my friend Yannick, who I was talking about. Yannick Wisdala. He and I bonded over this pedal. You gotta have this because it's just a super musical octave pedal. Then this is the meat box, and meat box is just sub. It's just speaker popper.
Wow.
And it's gonna sound soft in here because you're not gonna be able to pick it up with
Yeah,
that. But
and
when it hits those subs out there, it vibrates everything on stage. It's so crazy. But let's see. Can you feel
Yeah,
that?
I can feel
imagine
my
that in a
knees.
sub. In a
And
sub.
you're probably like on volume 1 here.
It's nuts. And that's all it does. It's just a sub. And this guy here, he's from Ohio. I don't know if you guys have heard of him, Earthquaker. He makes a really great tremolo, but it doesn't have that attack at the front. He sent me one right before we came out, and I was hoping to replace that one, but it still didn't have that attack. Yeah. But his delayed reverb, I told him, he goes, he's like, what could you use? And I said, well, I need a delay and a reverb, and I was thinking he's gonna send me 2 pedals, and he sent me this. So here, this one, it's a great sounding delay. Let me turn that. But the reverb is really cool too, because I love it on dub bass lines with the flat ones.
Oh, yep.
And I just subtle. It's super handy because when you're trying to make an economy pedal board, well, there's 2 knocked out right there.
Yeah.
And then the phaser is this is Pigtronics. He actually did a really good video of me at this Bass Day thing for Bass Player Magazine. They came early and shot a video of me, but it's just really musical phaser. I like using it with the vibrato. And remember, when I'm using flat wounds, these are the kind of effects that you can still hear with the flat wounds. As the phaser, you can definitely hear it. When I had 4 pedal boards, when Jerry built me 4 pedal boards, I had a station. So I had like a station very similar to this one, like that faced the drummer, and then I had another station that had like ring modulators, whammy pedals, and a couple of subs. And then back here had like micro synths and I don't remember all the other stuff I had. But I had all my delay pedals up here. Anything I could affect, like with that kind of thing, was up here, so I could just do it up here. So like if it was delays, I could just go crazy up here and manipulate the pedal, maybe a flanger or something that was going to have a drastic effect, with it. Because this one, like I said, this I keep on the same setting, keep this on the same setting. This is on the same setting. Delays you mess with, so you might want to have it where you can, but octaves you're not going to mess with it that much. My vibrato setting I don't really mess with. So all these are pretty stationary. You're going to mess with like a flanger maybe because you can get that really fast speed flange sound, or deep envelope-y type flanger. And then delays, you can just go crazy tweaking them. I could go crazy tweaking that right now, but there's better things to do. And then of course the Line 6 sampler, and I have an M9, which has got a lot of this in there already. I haven't got my learning curve there yet. It's still easier for me to understand this than to go in and program stuff. And I should discipline myself, and I probably will, but. I just want to show you the last one is this one. They don't make this anymore. And this is the one I was playing earlier on. Crazy, just not even having to do much. You know what I mean?
Set that up and go get a drink or something.
or let Jerry go crazy or something. But yeah, it's just so you can do soundscapes in between songs. We used to always do that a lot. We're trying to hustle through the set because we only get 45 minutes. So we're just going. We're not doing too much of that, but normally in our old sets, there's a lot of sound getting created in between songs, and so it's just me doing stuff like that. Whether it's like that or if it's doing like a sub one. And then doing the same thing on this one. So it's already subbed out, so it's knocking the hell out of the PA, and then you sub it even more. That thing is just bumming people out because it's just so subbed out. You're just hurting them, So I would do stuff like that, just on knocking an octave lower and go in between. That's why you can't really hear it as much in there. You see? Messing around, but like I can get more musical loops happening, and this is just the economy one, like all the other stuff that I have is at home.
So the pedal board looks like you got your Ampeg rig.
Oh yeah, so they just made these, so
what do you think of them so far?
I love them. I think they sound awesome. They're super cool looking, and so it's 15-15, 210s, 210s.
What were you playing before you got the PF500?
The SVT VRs.
Oh, okay.
That's what when they were owned by a different company. The owner came to me and he said what would you want to see Ampeg do? And I told him my favorite's the early '70s blue faced SVTs. And you could tell them because all of them had black script around them, but those were light blue. And so I told him those, and he goes, they're more wattage, right? He's like, yeah, they were 325 as opposed to an SVT having 300, if I'm not mistaken. So then they started making them, and they gave me 2 of the first 10 that they made, and I still have those. They're at home, but I just wanted to try something different. But yeah, those SVT VRs are awesome.
And are these running stereo, or are these just
stereo? Right? Are we stereo theory? I think we are, right? Out of the so if it's coming out of that green pedal, it should be stereo.
Okay, cool.
I mean, we could be even more stereo if I run this tremolo out. I don't know. That's not that much. Nobody's gonna hear the difference. It's close enough. And again, I'm getting mic'd now live, but I spent the last 4 or 5 years not getting mic'd.
Just going,
Well, because the sound man would go, well, I'll throw one up there for you, but doesn't mean I'm going to use it. I'm going to reamp you in Pro Tools, so there's no bleed.
Oh, okay.
So soundmen want to isolate things, and so I wasn't even getting. So it just didn't even matter to me. I was just this is just monitoring for me. But our soundman Matt Bittman, he's micing me right now, so now it does matter. So I got to make sure that it sounds tight. But yeah, and again, I got these, and we started doing shows, so I didn't even get a chance to really mess with them except for at a pre-sound check or something, kind of like this. And so I dialed it in really quick to what I thought it sounded good, and then, my hands kind of sound the same through almost anything. I just got to get close, But flat wounds, their own sound. Yeah. So I had to just make it sound good for flat wounds, and I can make this sound because this is round wounds.
What's your the gauges you're using?
This is Ernie balls. They're 105s, 45 to 105s, and I have been using those forever.
And what are your other basses? I know that you're using.
This is a 70p fretless, and then I have my 1964 Jazz. It's a real 1964. It's not a relic or whatever. I brought that out with me just because I wanted to have fun playing the best instruments. And then I have a 77, or I think it's a 77 Fender P, but it's modded, so it's like this. See, the other thing I was going to show you. The reason I love PJ setups, I love PJs because P pickups in the front sound like upright to me. I like having this setup, but I always have a pickup selected. But this is what I always do. So I have all these set up so I can, as they call it, terminate executives or transform.
Do you do a lot of with the knobs, the volume knobs, and the tone? Or do you? How do you have it? Are you always rolling them off and everything?
Especially on my, I'll show you this. This is cool because actually, I'm sure there's guys who do it. Let me see this one first. I'm sure there's guys who do it, but I just did it one day and I said, oh, that's my sound for flat wounds. So this is flat wounds. This is my 64 Jazz Badass. It's all stock except for the Badass bridge. But if you want to hear this, these are tape wounds. These are tape wounds. So this is volume up, tone up. Then I roll the tone off. And then I think what it does is it maybe makes the pickups out of phase, but I do this. I roll this one off like a quarter, and then this an eighth, and then so it's way more flat wound sounding, like more like Jamerson. It's hard to play these strings because the harder you play, the less low end you have.
Yeah.
The lighter you play, the more low end you have. So it's an opposite way of playing. I'm always used to hammering down.
Do you ever use picks, or do you always use
I do on this. Yeah, actually, I do too, because it's a lot easier to be right to control your string attack. You know. That's what I use on stage for all this, because we're playing mostly new music, and it's pretty much the sound, and it's just me offsetting these pickups, so it just gives you that even more dub kind of no high end sound. And that's this one, and then this is my newest one. I got this right before tour, put it all together, and Harry Nordstrand. Do you guys know who Nordstrand is?
Yeah, pickups.
Yeah, and basses.
California.
Yeah, he makes guitars and basses, but he made these pickup for me, and it's this one. So I love PJ, just like my fretless, and this is like whenever I use a lot of effects, this is the setup I'll use. So I can do big distorted sounds with the front pickups, or I can do crazy effect sounds with the rear pickup.
Okay.
And this is a pickup he specially made for me. I don't know what he did. Anybody who wants to know could probably email me. He's really good at that.
Yeah.
You know, but it's just the rear pickup. Doesn't sound like a jazz, but it doesn't sound like a tempo. Carrie did something to this pickup, so it sounds heavy. It's just a different thing right now. But that's just, and you guys can attest how heavy that thing is.
Oh, it's real.
That's a shoulder buster. It's like, I think it's 12 pounds, maybe 13. I think the fretless is about 11 pounds, and that dude's definitely 11 pounds.
So
I
like
heavier.
Back insurance for being on
my shoulders collapse. I'm telling you, if you saw this thing, it's a mess. It's years of me holding up like. I just like heavier sounding instruments. Yeah. I don't like those like old 60s P basses that weigh 7 pounds or 8 pounds. Like, they don't sound good to me. I like this, so I just pay for it. I do have a little thing that I have a belt that I can wear where I can rest the body.
Oh, okay.
Because we used to play 3 hours, and that's the only way I could do it is if I rested it on this belt. Then it would take the pain off my
shoulders.
Yeah, but right now, 45 minutes.
You can handle it.
Yeah, I can handle it. So that's my stuff up to right now. I hope you guys.
Awesome. Well, I know that you guys are working on an album, so how's that come along and everything else that you're doing?
I mean, it's done. It's mixed. That's pretty much all I ever am privy to know. I'm pretty confident that it's going to be awesome. I mean, you'll hear it tonight.
Some new music.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I know that you were talking earlier about your website that you do for pedals and stuff.
Right.
Where can people go online to check that out as you start to fill up the website and stuff?
Yeah, I'm gonna do just kind of how my friend Yannick inspired me. So I'm gonna, just set up a camera and just like take a pedal like this and do like, a bunch of really cool settings and just show like how how I look at stuff or whatever. I just think like it isn't cheap. Like I don't know, probably like I probably have 300 pedals maybe, and it's just not everybody can afford that.
Yeah.
Omar's had like I said, he had like 600-700 pedals when I met him. I don't know where they all are. but I was lucky enough to see his pedals, and so he had like this ring modulator that Maestro made in the '70s. That's the best sounding ring modulator. It's awesome, but I think I saw him buy it. Henry and I were with him, and I think he dropped $1,000 on that guy. That was crazy.
So again, what was the website so people can check it out as you get it rolling? What was the website URL?
It's pedalsandeffects.com.
Awesome.
And then Facebooks and Twitters and all that.
You're all over.
Yeah, so you can hit me up. I love answering questions. I'm a nerd. So.
Awesome. Well, Juan, thank you very much for your time.
All right. Thanks, you guys.
Thank you. This is Chris Keys for PremierGuitar.com. Thanks for watching.